One of the biggest problems with a golf swing is when we end up feeling stuck. It's never a good feeling to feel stuck in life, but also a golf swing. And that can be on the backswing, it can be coming into impact, it can be lots of different things. But we want to be able to have space, time, freedom to make a golf swing. You just want to feel like you've got a bit more time through the ball. You want to feel like your impact area is a bit bigger, meaning that when you're, especially with irons, when you're hitting down on them, you don't feel like you're just picking them up or you're trying to scoop them off the ground. What we're going to do here, even though I've got an iron in my hand, it's really going to help your driving, 3 woods. It's going to help everything, really. Because instead of making a beeline all the way from the club straight back down to the ball, thinking I've got to get to here and I've got to hit this ball, that's what gets people into a lot of problems. It screws up the sequence, screws up timing, and we often get kind of ahead of it this way. So the body races ahead, and then we're just trapping it a little bit too much, and it feels a bit difficult. Likewise, if we think, well, okay, I've got to try and keep the head back, keep the body a bit still, and allow those arms to come through. Unless you've watched some of my other videos where you're allowing those arms to glide a little bit better and getting out of your way, this can happen. Okay? Which is fine. You might make some okay contacts, but never going to be the distances that you truly want or the compression and strike that you want. So we need to find something that gets us into a placement that is repeatable, that we can deliver the club the same as frequently as possible. I'm not going to say every time, not even the best in the world do it every time, but we can do it more often. And part of that is going to be a visual. So from the top of the swing, we want to try and get into a delivery position, and I can talk about specifics and all that another time, really. But we want the weight transfer. We want our mass and energy to be moving forwards, but at the same time clearing out the way. But the key is we don't want to feel like we're trapped. We want to feel like the arms have got enough room to swing through. When we don't feel like we've got enough space to come through, bad shots happen. But some of that can be because we're lunging from the top. We're like losing that space, or we're jamming the hands down. So what I want you to do is this perfect little visual. Take your setup, all right? And I'm just going to turn on a big tap, faucet, whatever you North Americans like to call it. And I'm going to be filling up a swimming pool around me. And as that's filling up and filling up, the water is going to stop around about waist height, or about here, about thigh height, okay? That's what I want you to picture. All around here, I'm full of water, okay? What I want to do is if we were swinging down in water, I mean, if you've got a swimming pool, it's even great to go and do this. I don't want the club to be hitting the water first, back here, okay? I don't want to be just hitting the water that way, and I don't want to be just hitting the water this way where the grip hits the water first, where I'm going straight at the ball that way, because that's when we get stuck. I want you to feel, unlike diving in real life, we don't want to belly flop. In this, I want you to belly flop the shaft. What I mean is, from the top of the swing, as we move down, we're going to try and move everything together so we belly flop in line with the target, but also level with the target around my thighs. And it's all about that sequence of timing, because I belly flop here, and then from there, nothing wins the race. Everything moves through together. So it's down and through, belly flop and through. And this might seem like an unusual visual to have with the water around me and hitting the water in that belly flop. But notice I'm not dumping it this way. I'm not dumping it. I'm not pulling it here. I'm not hitting the club head first. I'm allowing the arms to reach my thighs, okay, as I move down, but I'm hitting the water. The shaft is slapping into the ground, slapping into the water rather, slapping into the water. And then from there, we pull through. And that's the way I want you to sort of rehearse it a little bit. So we just go back, belly flop, and then through. And that right there is the foundation to a truly consistent impact area, a consistent golf swing. And you think, well, that's going to be hard to repeat when I'm in full motion. Maybe if you go straight into it, but if you rehearse just a few times, even practice swinging, feeling like, okay, I'm going to just allow the club to belly flop onto that water all at the same time, then pull through, It's going to slow your sequence down to a nice smooth sort of pattern, but it's going to give you something very confident and simple to think about, because it's going to be there, then through. It's going to stop the hitting from this top. It's going to stop the early extension. It's going to stop the overactive wrists. It's a really nice visual that I really urge you to try. Is it going to solve everything in your golf game? No, but it's going to improve your contact and your consistency, I promise you. Give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions, and really feel it before every practice swing. And it works with driver, as I said. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you